Our phone number is 877-937-1047. You can text us. Text us anytime. Text JJR, whatever you want to say, to the number 96893. We'll read your text and we'll call you back. Yesterday, Father's Day. Everyone have a good Father's Day?
Oh, yeah, tremendous.
Yeah, Rich, what'd you do?
Oh, so all my kids are home, which I love when the kids are home and staying with me. So we went to brunch at North, and then my kids took me to a record store, which I think is amazing.
That's a perfect day for you.
And they bought me records.
Aww.
Which I think is, I didn't break them too hard.
Kyle, you?
Well, Scott really said, all I want to do is nothing. So that's kind of what we did. We kind of loafed around the house all day. He watched golf. And then at one point we did go out, and we've been meaning to fulfill part of our summer bucket list, which is we want to taste a bunch of different ice cream places. And Scott's been talking about this place that kind of opened up near our house called the Milkshake Factory. And so we went and we tried that. Milkshakes were so good. Definitely recommend that place. And then we went home and just chilled. Like, it was a great day. I think he got what he wanted for Father's Day.
Peyton, you hang out with your dad?
Ours was very chill. We went over to my parents' house. We just, ordered pizza. My sister and my nephews were over, and we just hung out by the pool and did our thing. But I kept getting slammed for my music choice on the aux because for some reason, apparently, I don't have the best kind of pool music. So when I was playing Ariana Grande, We Can't Be Friends, my dad was not a fan.
Why not?
This is a vibe.
What did he want?
It's a great pool song.
I don't know. He was like, have you been hanging out with your brother? Because his music choice is terrible, too. I was like, listen.
This song's hanging out at the pool and he can't handle it?
He's like, turn this off. I'm like,
I can see hanging out at the pool and listening to this song.
Totally.
If anything, you just got to wait 3.5 more minutes till the next song starts.
Right? I know. I'm like, my nephew Chosen, he's one. He was having the time of his life, so he was my gauge. So I didn't care what my dad had to say, even though it was Father's Day. I said, you're going to listen, you're going to appreciate it.
Yeah, he's thinking, hey, it's my day. It should be my song.
Exactly. He put me on aux. It's his fault.
That's true.
But no, it was a great Father's Day.
It was interesting for me for Father's Day because 2 of my 3 boys are out of town. Dutch is in London, and Kemp is with his girlfriend in South Carolina, and Jake is home. So I had this progression of, first I got a text from Kemp saying Happy Father's Day. Then I was going to the bathroom and Dutch FaceTimed me from London, so I had to take it.
Of course, why not?
Yeah.
Of course.
And then Kemp FaceTimes me, and then Jake wakes up and gives me this huge hug, and I was like, right on, man, it was good. And then, what do you want to do for Father's Day? At the same time, my wife's like, the boys want to know if we could just do a real Father's Day next Sunday, right? And I'm like, of course, because that's when everyone's back, right? So totally. So I didn't know where the boundaries were for my Father's Day yesterday because, like your husband, Kyle, I wanted to do nothing, right? And I think when it's Father's Day or like Mother's Day, you try to take all the duties away. But I fed the dogs in the morning. As soon as I was feeding the dogs, I was like, it's Father's Day?
Maybe next Sunday.
Next week. Yeah. You get that next time.
Yeah. And then I wanted to just do nothing. And my wife has this new business called Love Pup Plus, and she's in charge of content, so I had to help her film content, right? So she filmed this thing about how to keep your dogs cool in the heat when it's so hot outside, and we shot one video, and you know me, I'm like, that's perfect. She looks at it, I want to do it again, and I get so angry. Like, I don't want to do it again. I want to be like, it's Father's Day. I don't want to shoot
It was
again.
fine.
Yeah. But for Father's Day, here's what I did. I discovered this new TV show. Someone told me about this new TV show, and Kyle, I texted you about it, right? And it is, have you guys ever heard of Robert Galbraith?
No.
Okay. Robert Galbraith wrote these books, and the books are about a private detective named C.B. Strike. And it's a TV show on Max. And I started watching it, and it's really, really good. And he is the son of a rock star, also a military hero, and his leg got blown off in Afghanistan. So now he has a fake leg. And he's a private investigator, right? So people know him because he's the son of a famous rock star. I'm watching this thing. I'm about 5 episodes in, and it's really, really good. It's a BBC, one of those English ones. Then I started investigating. Get this. You know who Robert Galbraith is?
No.
J.K. Rowling.
Same person?
Same person. She wrote all these novels under a fake name.
No way.
Because she got canceled?
She wrote them in 2016. I got goosebumps.
She was probably just too attached to Harry Potter to take it seriously.
That's why I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, some of these episodes are dark, and then some of them, they all have weird names, which now I'm like, oh yeah, Harry Potter. But isn't that kind of neat?
Yeah, that's wild.
Right, so she probably wrote...
Wow.
Yeah, so she is Robert Galbraith.
What the heck? What a bizarre name to pick, too. But then again, it's like a Harry Potter name. So that makes sense.
All of the names on the show are like I don't know about you guys, but I've never heard of anyone named Harrowing or whatever her name is,
I haven't either.
or whatever those names are. All those names they have on there. Same with this show. All these people got. His name is Corman, the Corman Strike.
Corman Strike.
Yeah, and it's really cool. There's like murders they're trying to solve, and then it's like there's some darkness. I mean, there's some stuff.
I was surprised you sent it to me because normally you don't send older shows, and there's 4 seasons.
But it goes up till now. Like the most recent one is now. So I'm like, okay. It's
How'd that get by 4 seasons and none of us have heard of it, though?
I know.
That's
Weird. And then this friend of mine told me about it on Sunday or on Friday, and I was like, let me check it out. And I was like, And I was like, whoa, I really, really like this. Anyway, it's on Max. I highly recommend it. Meanwhile, yesterday was Father's Day, and they came out with a list of the top TV dads of all time. Top TV dads of all time. I was surprised by number 1.
Until the charges. Probably would have gone Cosby.
Cosby's not on the top 25.
What about all the dads from, oh my gosh, why am I...
Modern Family?
No. It's the San Francisco house, outside of...
Full House?
Yes.
Full House.
Danny
Full
Tanner.
House. Full House. Danny Tanner, number 7.
Okay. He's on there somewhere.
Who is a great... Oh, what about Dexter's dad?
No, Dexter's
What
dad.
about the dad in... Any of the dads in Modern Family?
Modern Family Dad. Modern Family, Phil Dunphy, number 17.
Good.
Just give you the answer.
Homer.
Number 1 is actually the dad from Modern Family, but he played Al Bundy from Married with Children.
Pritchett.
He's the number 1 dad, Al Bundy.
Wow.
Al Bundy.
Wow, that's wild.
Now, I saw today...
He wasn't that great of a dad.
I know. If I remember that show correctly, he was kind of like lame.
Yeah.
He was a terrible husband, I
Right.
think. Okay, so today I saw on TV shows that are coming out tonight, 9 p.m. on Fox, Quiz with Balls.
Yep.
Is that your episode?
Not our episode.
No way.
I know.
Bummer.
I'm like, when are we going to go on? I think there's like 10 episodes in the whole season, so this is going to be the 4th one.
How do you know it's not your episode?
Because I've been Googling it like a mad woman.
Okay. So if you don't know, back in February, Peyton went to Belgium with her whole family, and they shot an episode of the TV show, The Quiz with Balls. And nobody knows how she did. No one knows anything.
Yeah, you're doing a good job of keeping wraps on it. That's for sure.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, so
I would get in trouble if not.
I would think the network would be like, let's let her know. Let's let the contestants know so they can promote it so people can go. They tell all their friends. So everyone watches the show.
I reached out too, and they ghosted me.
How
Anyway,
rude.
so tonight on Fox, you can see Peyton's family not on Quiz with Balls yet. Anyway, Kyle, let's cover to 3 things you need to know.
The Oklahoma City Thunder tied the NBA Finals 2-2 after beating the Pacers in a comeback 4th quarter. Game 5 is Thursday in OKC, so now it's really anyone's series. The latest secret dating trend is the gold digger tests. Men are pulling stunts like pretending to be broke or asking dates to foot the bill just to see if women are simply after their money. Experts say these tests kind of kill trust, scream insecurity, and they say the bottom line, if you feel like you have to test someone, you may not be ready to date or they're obviously not the right person. So this may actually save your job, and it's something very simple that you can do. Just having a photo of your dog on your desk could help you avoid losing it at work, literally. Studies say cute pet pictures can reduce anger and aggression, even in high-stress moments. It's not magic, but it taps into the same stress-lowering benefits as real pets give you. So if you feel like things are a little extra stressful, a little more anxious at work, bring in a picture of your pet, and when you're feeling it's like heightening, just take a look at them and watch how your stress levels will go down a bit. And that's 3 things you need to know.
By the way, I think Game 5 is tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the NBA Finals.
Said Thursday in the news story I read, but okay.
Yeah, it's tonight on NBA Finals, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, ABC tonight. They're tied at 2 games apiece. Tonight, 8:30.
You're right. It is anybody's series, though.
It is anyone's series.
Yeah. Peyton, what's the 5 horoscopes today?
I'm going to tell you what your screen time says about you based on your zodiac sign.
Also, Post Malone Big Ass Stadium Tour stop here is sold out. We got your tickets every single day. You got to keep listening because we're doing it just after 8 a.m. is your chance to win. Peyton, what's the 5 horoscopes?
I am going to tell you what your screen time says about you based on your zodiac sign. And if it's your birthday today, you are a Gemini and you share a birthday with Tupac.
All right, let's start off with some Libras.
Okay, Kyle is our Libra. Libra, most of the time, is spent deciding what to post, and then you go and delete it. You spiral in Pinterest boards, you compare outfit inspo, and then you overanalyze every like that you have. So your screen time is actually just curated chaos for you.
Okay.
How about Pisces?
Pisces, Rich, you're our Pisces in the room. Pisces, your screen time spikes when you're daydreaming mid-scroll and then accidentally doom scroll for 3 hours. You romanticize even your phone time. Like, yes, I absolutely am healing through this new Addison Rae album.
It's true. Music posts distract me for hours.
And then you're just
For
down the rabbit hole.
hours
There's
down the rabbit
no
hole.
coming back.
Yep. And by the way, if I've seen it, Grant on our show's already seen it. It's a weird music thing.
Leos?
Leos, I'm a Leo. So for Leo, our screen time is because we check our own story views more than we check our own texts. Our screen time is high because it takes a lot of work to maintain that main character aesthetic. And yes, FaceTime absolutely counts as productivity in a Leo's world.
Virgos?
John Jay, you're a Virgo. Your screen time is mostly just your social media and your Google searches, like how to tell if someone's mad at me without having to ask them. You claim that you're efficient, but your tabs say otherwise.
All right, very simple. If we didn't get to your sign, they're all posted on our website, johnjandrich.com. So I'm testing out this experiment, okay? And I feel like I'm right. And let me tell you what this is really quick. So a long time ago, I remember hearing this thing about when you have a baby, you want to paint the room certain colors and it helps them have a certain vibe. You ever heard something like that?
Yeah.
Right? So I feel the same way about clothes, right? Like when I go to sleep at night, sometimes I keep my room so cold, sometimes I'll wear a t-shirt. When I wear a t-shirt, I usually wear like a black t-shirt or a dark t-shirt or a white t-shirt. My wife, every time she goes to bed, she always puts on one of my old Love Up shirts, a different color shirt. And I have this one red Love Up shirt that it says support our troops Love Up shirt. It's bright red. And I only wear it when there's, like Memorial Day or Veterans Day or something like that is when I wear it. But she put it on last night to go to sleep. And I wasn't like bothered, but I was like, whoa. I said, what are you wearing that for? And she was like, well, why can't I wear it? I go, well, it's red. And I feel like it won't let you sleep right. I go, and she looks at me like, what? And I go,
Yeah, I bet she looked at you like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think red, like, if you have a bad night's sleep, I said, I think, like, I'm right. Like, I feel like I don't know if there's any research, but just my own gut feeling. And I gave the whole explanation to the walls and all that stuff, right? So, her and I wear these things called Oura rings that monitor your sleep. And she is an amazing sleeper. Like when she gets her Oura ring score, she's in the 90s high. And she'll go 94, 95, 96. During the week, I hit 70s, maybe 60s because, we get up so early.
Yeah.
And she can see my score and I can see her score. And I just looked at her score and she's at 81.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, she's in the 90s all the time. And she wore a red t-shirt last night.
This is your red t-shirt. I
Right.
can't believe that's got to have anything to do with it.
This is what you meant to say, Rich. You were so right, John Jay. Look at that horrible night's rest.
She has never had.
That's probably tough.
She
That's
has
probably the best way out.
never, ever had an 80. She's always in the 90s. So I'm dying to talk to her, except I know she's meditating right now. So I'm kind of like, oh, man, come on.
Do you think she's going to say, I slept terrible last night? Or do you think she's going to be like, I slept fine? The Oura ring is a bunch of garbage. Or does she believe in that? The Oura
She
ring
does
thing?
believe it. That's why she wears it every day.
But don't
Well, I
you
mean, she
think-
probably wears it every day because you guys are all obsessed about who's got the best score. But does
No,
it
no,
mean...
we don't compete.
Oh, yes, you do. I've heard you get on the phone with your kids.
kind of do.
Oh, with my kid, no. Like her, like
Yeah.
she. If we were to compete, she gets a high 90s all the time.
She
It's
would
very
be beating you guys every single
every
time.
single day.
So you got to take her out of the loop.
Every day I look at my Oura ring and I monitor. Like I know what I get during the week when we get up so early. Like I know, like if I get anything in the 80s during the week, I think it's fantastic because we get up so early. So 80s for me is very rare during the week. This morning I got a 71 average because we get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
On the weekends, like I hit an 80 yesterday and I was bummed because there's no reason. I got 9 hours of sleep. Why am I in the 80s? Because I have all kinds of sleep issues. With her, she always hits the 90s. Always. So that's the part where I'm like, wow, man. I wonder if red shirt has something to do with it.
Do you think you got into her head, though, before she went to bed? Like, oh, man, I am wearing this red shirt. Now I'm going to have a bad night's sleep?
I don't think so.
I kind of feel like it would affect your sleep because you're the one looking at the red. Like she has it on, but she's not like staring at her shirt. You know what I mean? And if you go by your theory with the paint on the walls, it would be what you see.
But also the vibe the room gives you. So the red t-shirt is touching her skin. It's giving her the vibe. I'm on the other side of the bed. I'm not looking at her. It's
This
dark.
sounds insane. You know, this sounds
I don't
insane.
think it does sound insane. Okay. Quick recap of my little theory. I feel that when you go to sleep, it's important to wear certain colors that are dull so that they don't get your mitochondria pumping and keep you awake at night. This is my own little theory based off of when I remember painting rooms for the kids, and you want a pink room is calm, or green room is calm, and red is bright, lots of energy. My wife wears a different T-shirt every night. Last night she wore a bright red T-shirt to bed, and I said, hey, that's and I gave her my theory. I don't know if she thought I was crazy or not, but on her Aura ring, her score was an 81. For her, that's extremely low. She just texted me. She goes, good morning. Terrible night of rest. How are you? I miss you. And all I said back to her was, red shirt. She texted me back and she goes, never wearing that again. My brain was going a million miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Well, you know what's crazy is I actually put it into ChatGPT. Does the color of your shirt really affect your sleep? And it said, yes. It says the color of your shirt can indirectly affect your sleep, mainly by influencing your mood, relaxation, and how calm your body feels before bed. Blue is often associated with calm, peace, and stability. Wearing blue can lower your heart rate, help you relax. White or soft pastels can be clean and calming. They don't overstimulate your brain. Red or bright colors are stimulating, can raise your alertness, even your heart rate. Probably not the best for sleepwear.
No way.
Meanwhile,
in the
black or
world?
dark cover colors will help you feel cozy, but some of them find them too intense and can associate it with heaviness or anxiety. They do say on top of that, you should know that fabric fit and temperature regulation matter more than the color, but the color can affect.
Well, then I owe you a total apology and a retraction, because
You were
I
right.
did say that you sounded insane, but it turns out you were right.
Apology accepted, Rich. Apology accepted. Time for Stacks and Hacks. I have Stacks information. Rich has life hacks. A couple of these coming up, though. We do have Post Malone tickets about an hour from now. Shakira tickets about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. Here are some random facts for you. Rats can laugh. We just can't hear it. I don't know how they figured that out, but it's true.
I want to hear that.
Okay, so this is kind of making some wild news. It's going viral. There's a helicopter pilot, and he has a YouTube channel. And he was on YouTube Live, and he was covering all the protests in Los Angeles. And he's flying his helicopter around L.A., and he's got the YouTube channel on. He's reading the comments, and he just starts kind of rambling about his marriage and his life.
You know what? I don't care. I am married. I am legally married. I am legally married. That's about the only way you can really say it. But I am not looking at now at all. I just had a bunch of debacles with my personal life. Yes, it's true. I know. It's hard to believe. I got nothing right now. Got nothing. Not really looking. Trying to find myself and be happy. I'm being serious about that. I want to be beholden to no one at this moment. Do I get lonely? Of course. But I got cats.
The people at the TV station are like, can you film the protests?
Something's
please?
going on down there. Do you want to look down?
Wrap it up.
Then he goes on another rant where he's talking about he loves bourbon. He's like, oh, my favorite bourbon is this.
I like that. Do I get lonely? Yes.
So Bill Lear, the guy who invented Learjets, also invented the 8-track tape player. But more importantly, one of his daughters, her name was Shanda.
Chandelier.
Chandelier. There's a website that did the list of 10 things that happened 10 years ago this week. 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Brian Williams got banished from MSNBC for lying, saying he was the helicopter story of the war or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was talking about taking fire, and they said,
Yeah.
well, we didn't take any fire.
A-Rod hit his 3,000 hit. The fan wouldn't give him the ball. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
Remember this one? Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig had a movie called A Deadly Adoption. It premiered on Lifetime. The funny part was it wasn't funny. It was just a normal Lifetime movie. He always experiments and stuff like that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jurassic World had the biggest opening weekend ever, pulling in $208 million. That only lasted 6 months because Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, and then Avengers Endgame now holds it with $357 million. 10 years ago this week, Rachel Dolezal, that scandal broke. Do you remember that one?
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
She was the president, or she said she was black, but
Yeah,
she
she
wasn't
said
black.
she was black and she was a legit white woman. It was absolutely insane.
She made headlines again last year because her OnlyFans page got her fired from a teaching job in Arizona.
I remember that.
And the number one story they say that happened 10 years ago today that people thought was ridiculous, it would never happen, is Donald Trump announced he was running for president. He came down a golden escalator at Trump Tower to make the announcement on June 16th, 2015. Hillary Clinton already announced that she was running.
Wow.
That's nutso.
Yeah, it is.
And everyone's like, oh, good one. Here's some dad stuff. Since yesterday was Father's Day. In a recent poll, 1 in 3 people said a thumbs up from dad in a text is a sign of love and support. And here's some other ways dad shows you that he loves you. Forwarding you useful links, helping you move, offering to lend you tools or equipment, driving you places, fixing things around the house, teaching you how to do something practical, paying for a meal, and of course, being there when you need him, even without saying much.
Aww.
Those are good dad support ways. What do you got, Rich, for life hacks?
There's a kind of a weird psychology hack that stops you from being anxious before you go to bed. You were saying your wife wore a red shirt and her mind raced all night. She didn't get a good night's sleep. They say your mind waking up is why you don't get a good night's sleep. So you got to trick your mind. Here's how you trick it. And this is going to be crazy because I feel like my wife Stacy does a version of this. You come up with a random word, like let's say our word is butterfly. Then you start imagining objects that start with each letter. B is for balloon, U is for umbrella, S is for sun, and then you kind of picture what that is. It actually makes your mind start thinking, well, this is a puzzle I don't want to finish. You're too lazy. You're going to be too lazy to finish the mind puzzle, and it tricks your mind into falling asleep. Kind of crazy, but it works. Try it out and get back to us. It is all up at johnjandrich.com.
Our phone number is 877-937-1047. There was this horrible plane crash last week, but one of the big stories out of that plane crash is this guy in seat 11A. He just walked out of the plane crash, just walked right out. And the footage is going viral now of him walking out of the plane crash. It's
the
crazy.
Only survivor. 260 deaths now, they say?
877-937-1047. I want you to finish the sentence. You know, I should be dead, but I'm not. Tell us why. Hi, Tammy. What happened to you?
Well, when I was a teenager, my brother and I were hanging out at home, and my mom came home after work and said, "What is that smell?" And the day before, they had replaced the flooring in our kitchen, and when they pulled out the stove, they cracked the gas pipe, and the whole place, we lived in a really beautiful double-wide split-level trailer, and he came and said that if the washing machine would have changed cycles, if somebody would have turned on a light, anything, the whole place would have blown.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're glad you're alive, Tammy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that whole gas stuff is dangerous.
Very
because it's like you can get like carbon monoxide poisoning just from sitting in your living room with a gas leak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just pass out and you have no idea what's going on. So scary.
I made some eggs last week. So, you know, my wife has these pans that apparently I'm not allowed to touch. And then, so I've used the older pans. And then she got this cast iron pan, which I heard you're not supposed to clean. It's like something cool. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
So there was the cast iron pan there, and I thought I should be allowed to make eggs in the cast iron pan. I thought that was a pan that I was allowed
This
to
could
do.
be some delicious eggs.
You just hear Grant laughing in the background because he's like a seasoned chef at this point.
Are you not supposed to use a cast iron pan for eggs?
Yeah, you can use it for anything.
Yeah, you can use anything you like, brother.
So I put on this grass-fed butter, and then I put the eggs, and then I was done. And I had heard you're not supposed to clean those. That's what I heard, right? So I just left the residue on the pan. And then an hour goes by, and my wife sees the pan, and she's like, "What happened? Who made these eggs?" I go, "I did." And she's like, "You're supposed to soak it." I go, "I thought you weren't supposed to clean that." You know, I don't know. Anyway, turns out I left the stove on.
Oh. And she's yelling you for not washing the pan?
Yeah, the pan's like black. Like I look, there's like a fire. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to turn that off. But like, at least there was a flame there. If there was no flame, that's the dangerous part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's both dangerous, but yeah.
I don't think either one of them is particularly.
Lizzie, good morning. You should be dead, but you're not. What happened?
I was cleaning a veteran's home, and I was touching some medications, putting them back. Went home, half an hour later, start sweating, and my roommate saved my life, and 3 days later I woke up in the hospital. So I should have been dead, but thankfully I'm not.
Well, you skipped kind of the middle part, though. What happened? You touched medication?
Yeah, fentanyl. It was street Percocet fentanyl, and drove home. Then I was sweating profusely. She got me in the shower, don't remember anything, put me to bed. She checked on all of our kids because we're roommates. She came back and I was blue.
Dang.
So she did CPR. The ambulance came, and I was in the hospital, Estrella Hospital, shout out. for 3 days.
Whoa. Well, did you take it thinking it was aspirin?
I think she
She
just
didn't think
touched
it.
it.
She was
You
moving
touched
things
it?
around.
When you
Touched
touch
it?
it, when you
Yeah.
touch it, have you heard about those cops that like they do a fentanyl bust and they inhaled some of it or some of it got on them and they're like go to the
I didn't
hospital?
know
Yeah.
that.
I didn't either.
You can't mess with that stuff, man. That's why it's so
Jeez.
dangerous.
So scary.
We're glad you're alive, Lizzie.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. 877-937-1047. You know what's happens to me every once in a while, and I admit it, and I try not to do it anymore, but like, you ever been driving and maybe you check a text message and then you like almost die?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
Whoops.
Like the vibe that goes through your body, you're like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
almost died. So now it's like I try to do the best I can and I do that, but sometimes at red lights I'm like, oh look, but man, it's so scary, right? Like
Yeah.
you almost die.
Like you start to feel the adrenaline. Like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, I will never do that again. And then, we do it again.
Okay, so Rich, what's the audio you have of the little Italian kid?
Oh, okay. Well, you guys know how on occasion you make fun of me for saying things in Italian the way I think that you're supposed to say them. For example, ricotta cheese. Like they can. You're supposed to put ricotta cheese.
yeah, they do.
I keep seeing this little kid, and maybe it's just on my TikTok. This little Italian kid, I think he's maybe 10 or 11, and he starts schooling people on Italian stuff. So he'll be like, "Of course, you don't break the pasta when you put it in the hot water. You got to let it melt itself." But he starts going off on people saying ricotta cheese wrong, and finally, I have a backup. So this 10-year-old little Italian kid, I want you to hear his thing. This guy is science. He should have his own TV show.
And the guy behind the counter goes, "Would you like some mozzarella on it?" I said, "Yo, guy, are you out of your mind? It's mozzarella. Don't disrespect my culture."
Which is worse, breaking spaghetti in half or calling bruschetta bruschetta?
Breaking the pasta. All you gotta do, hold it in your hand like this. Put it in the pot. Let it spread out. Wait a couple of seconds. Have patience. Then it'll dissolve in the pot. No need to break the pasta. Next.
Having a cappuccino afternoon or calling ricotta ricotta?
Calling ricotta ricotta. It's ricotta.
I love him.
Don't you just love that kid?
So they're saying that he's saying a G, ricotta?
Ricotta.
How did you say it?
You
I
said
think I said ricotta. But then
Let's
again,
hear it. You said what you said. You said ricotta.
But like they can. You're supposed to put ricotta cheese.
Ricotta.
Ah, there's a G. There's a G.
He's kind of
It's just well, yeah. This kid's great, but he reminds me of my relatives who I don't speak Italian, but if I'm getting yelled at in Italian, I definitely understand it. And some words you just get ingrained in your brain like that.
Well, there's just also, I mean, I'm Mexican, and if I'm talking, if I'm anywhere, even a Mexican restaurant, maybe it's like, I'll say quesadilla. I'm not going to say quesadilla. But puede dar un quesadilla. No, I'm just saying quesadilla. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with it because that's just kind of easier.
You're going to piss off this little guy, though.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not going to say, I'm in Mexico. Hey, man, I went to Mexico yesterday. I'm not, I was in Mexico yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're all from somewhere.
I know.
That's all.
That is just facts.
Okay, look, we got some text messages. John Jay and Rich, the way John Jay says, that's our afterwards podcast, John Jay and Rich. At the end of the show is also how you should end the podcast for John Jay and Rich on demand. So easy, so simple, done. So I guess a lot of people complained about the way we end our podcast of our daily show.
It makes sense to me because I listen to other podcasts, and when it's over, you hear their little wrap-up music, and thanks for listening. And we don't do anything. We just go away. We just stop talking, and then it's on to the next.
So we should have just since Noah, you don't have to make one every day, but maybe we just have a generic one. Kind of like the way we have Snoop Dogg says hello. Maybe we need to have a celebrity say that's the podcast. Next time we have a celebrity in there, maybe they can do a close for us or something like that.
Hello, I'm Sir Elton John, and this has been the John Jay and Rich podcast.
Yeah. Hey, Grant, do you know who Mark Kerr is? Yeah. I was with him. He was at my house Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you get
What are
the
you
new?
doing?
Did you get the new tread?
So get this. This is such a crazy story, but I don't have time to tell you. But The Rock has a movie coming out in October, and it's The Rock plays Mark Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Have you seen the trailer?
He looks great.
It's amazing.
He's got a prosthetic nose. Yeah, the whole deal.
Took 3 hours. They got rid of his tattoos for all the video footage. Yeah.
So you were hanging out with Mark Kerr?
Yeah, he was at my house.
That's sick.
For like 2.5 hours.
Dang, dude. What did you guys do?
You know what? That's another break. I got to tell you guys about that.
that's
Maybe I'll tell you guys about that next. I'm not sure. Let's see.